Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have Carnage, the movie version of Carnage, which he's here. We'll be comparing it to these images. First though, we have to talk about the price because that's always important to figure out whether or not this figure is worth it, and he is expensive. Entertainment Earth has him, well, doesn't have him, but they will have him. They never seem to fail me in the fact that they don't have anything ever. I don't know how people can shop there. My buddy has stuff on pre-orders that other people have gotten and he hasn't. That's crazy. Anyways, he's 135 bucks. He's 139 on Amazon. None of them have it yet, so there's that. And then here we have Toys in the Box. This is my store. If you are local to this place, there is no reason why you shouldn't be buying from them. Look at that. It is $15 to $20 cheaper than Amazon or Entertainment Earth. So why not go there? Even if you pay for shipping on this, you'll still get it now because they have it, and you'll get it cheaper. One of the biggest things about Big Bad Toy Store is that they do seem to have stuff in inventory, even though I think they're overpriced too. If I could go back, I probably would get this figure from Japan because that's where I get all my Bandai, Tamashii Nations, Mafex, but I had pre-ordered this a long time ago from Big Bad Toy Store and paid a deposit, so I was stuck. That was my mistake. I will never commit that mistake again. Let's talk about the Sculpt because I really like the Sculpt. I think it looks freaking cool. This guy is about 10 inches tall. He's going to tower over all your Spider-Man or any other figure for that matter. He stands really tall. His detail on his body, it's amazing to me, I think. It looks really good. He comes with a few different head sculpts too, actually. There they are. Two head sculpts. They look similar. One has its tongue out. Unfortunately, that tongue does not articulate the way that the Yamaguchi does. Check out those teeth. I mean, look at the amount of detail and paintwork on them. You can see slight variations from yellow to red to dark. It looks really good, man. I like this. Look at his tongue from darker to brighter. I like the wash on it so much. So let's talk about how well this guy moves, the articulated factor here. So let's see here. He moves really well. I mean, look at his head up. He looks straight up. He looks almost straight down. His hands, they go in, they go out, they go I went a little too hard on the waist, but it does swivel quite a bit. Once you pop it back in place, no big deal. You can see the movement here, his legs, his toes, they just goes everywhere, left, right, up, down. You can strike all kinds of poses, and what I like the most is that his tendrils are so they move really well any way you want. So you can come up with these really cool poses, right? Like I said before though, it does suck that his butt cheeks are something that you can move, but not his tongue. You would expect his tongue to be able to move because then that would give you even more possibilities for photos, right? But overall, I'm really happy with how articulated he is. You would expect this level of quality from Bandai, Tamashii Nations, or any other Mafex. You would expect this because they're not cheap toys. So this is exactly what I thought we were gonna get, and here we are. You can pose them all kinds of ways. His center of balance is pretty good considering too he's got extra weight from his tendrils. I mean, it doesn't take that much effort to get him into position. Sometimes it does, but really not that much. I like it a lot. Let's talk about his hands here because his hands are actually really special. His hands, they go into his sockets right there for his wrist, but they also go into the tendrils. So you can put them there if you wanted to. I don't know that he actually does that like in the movie or in the comic book, but this is based on the movie. But the fact that you're able to do that if you wanted to is pretty freaking cool. These are his second pair of hands. He's got three, okay? These are his really open clawing hands. He's got clawing hands, really clawing hands, and then he's got some punching hands. I'm sure he threw a punch or two in the movie. I don't really see him punching very much, do you? But all the hands look super detailed. Look at those veiny bastards, man. Look at these hands. They just look really good. his tendrils. So this is the part where I like the most, and probably why this figure costs as much as it does, other than it being huge. He's got these 4 tendrils that have all these points of articulation, and on these points here you can stick all kinds of sharpie things here. He's got, you can mix and match, you can do all these things, but all these points and the way they look, I looked and they are the ones from the movie. This is how they look. So that's pretty accurate, I think. So you can put any of these on these tendrils and they're all super detailed. I like the way that the black blends in with the red. It may not be 100% accurate to the movie, but I don't really give a crap about that because I just want a figure that looks badass. And to me, this figure looks badass, and so do his tendrils. I've been showing you nothing but details, but here, let me show you a few more, okay? So his chest, the way the black oozy stuff looks, it just looks really cool. You can see all forms of texture all over him. Like, they did not leave any square inch of his body not detailed to the extreme. I think this is what makes a figure worth it to me, the fact that you put all this detail into it. Some of you out there are gonna say, well, that's the way it's supposed to be. Other figures that don't have detail, that's the way they're supposed to be. And I fully respect that in your opinion. I get it. But to me, what makes a figure more expensive is when they add these details and they put effort into it. And so, you know, maybe it is expensive, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. And if a figure doesn't have all this detail, maybe they shouldn't be charging as much as they do, because it's more simple to do, right? I mean, it's more simple for them to create it. Why are they charging you $100? I don't know, but this figure I think is worth it. I'm happy I got it, even though it was a bit pricey. I like it a lot. I'm gonna put him on my shelf because he looks badass, really badass. If you want to stick around past this point, I'm gonna show you a little photo shoot that I did with him. All right, simple technique. Look, I have a light right here, and don't mind my living room here. It's just that I'm transitioning, moving stuff around. So I've got the Ninja Optimus here to record within the screen so you can see what I see, okay? But I'm showing you the overall. I have a screen there. This is my main screen, and then the IMAX screen is for my YouTube viewing. So I downloaded this backdrop. It's kind of like a grungy black, and there's this light right there to the left. That's the rim light. Simple technique. So the light is to the left and then the light is to the right. Here you can see how the light looks if you were to move it more like straight towards him. It doesn't look very good. So what you do is you move the light more at an angle so it can go looking at him and create shadows. So what I do too is raise the light up high and then lower it so that the shadow goes downwards. And I think it looks really good. Of course, that's not the only way to do it. You can basically leave your toy right there and move the light around and see for yourself how it moves around his body. And that's the way you'll take the photo. So I am using a macro lens here, okay? I'm at 1/125 shutter speed. My ISO are really high because I really don't have the light at a really high output right now. But 1600 is very, it's okay for my camera. My camera can handle it. I have a full frame Z6 II camera. So if you don't have a camera that can handle the ISO that high, then I would suggest putting the light closer to the figure to have more of an impact so that you don't have to use the ISO so high, okay? I'm using single point focus and I'm trying to look upwards, right? But it doesn't quite work because of where he is and how he is. So you have to make a little correction and you take the shot. Here you can see the light going straight up but then coming straight down. You can see that shadow falling on the floor on his ground right there. You you focus, take the shot. This looks really cool. Now imagine how cool this would look if I created an even better foreground. The background I think looks cool, but maybe if I put some dumpsters or something, right? Some wreckage, some like concrete wreckage or something on the floor, you can see how the possibilities look really cool. And well, I didn't do that because I'm trying to hurry up, but like you could do such really cool things with him. He photographs really well. He's a bit shiny for my taste, but I think the shininess creates this kind of glossy look in the photos that I think looks really good. Right there on his head, it's a little too much. What I would do is in Photoshop kind of remove it a little bit, but dude, this looks badass, man. Badass. The box. Some of you like the box, so I always show you the box, but truthfully I don't have room for boxes, so this box is in the trash now. I've thrown away so many boxes lately, crazy. I filled up my my recycle bin like twice, so yeah, that's a lot of boxes. But look, if you guys can subscribe, that would be awesome, because I put so much effort into these, and I have a newborn, so these videos are not coming in as much as they were. But if you guys can subscribe, that would be awesome. Thanks so much for everything, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.